Welcome back, everyone, to the best podcast in New York. Gotta say it's serious because it's been a minute. Oh my god. This episode of the Assassin Cast is for the week of October 28th, 2018 / November 4th, 2018. I'm Jeremy Malaspina, accompanied by my co-host, good friend, and the legend that's currently a blue circle, Daniel McCarthy.
I'm still here in spirit, ladies and gentlemen.
Give him a fucking applause. Round of applause. There we go. Hey, he made it. He
I think it would be better
fucking
just to say
made it.
continue doing what you do before every podcast.
I know, Jesus. All right, and in this episode, we're going to be going over the following topics, and excuse the no picture of the fish. He's having technical difficulties. I'm having technical difficulties. It's all fucked. We're doing this on a Tuesday, by the way. It's fucking Tuesday, so we love you. We love our fans out there to be going this hard. Anyway, so let's go through this impeccable list that we made in 4 minutes on Sunday. All right, so first up on the movie topics, we're going to be talking Bohemian Rhapsody does awesome at the box office, which a lot of people thought wasn't going to hack it. But it did really well, and we're going to discuss it opening weekend, which was last weekend. Apparently, the DC Universe makes it back to the podcast. Oh my god. The director says they're done filming. Oh wow, I didn't add the movie. Oh my god, I really typed this up fast. They're done filming Aquaman.
We know what it was. Either way, it's shit.
And he feels confident about the production, so we're going to discuss that fucking disaster. We're also, this one's hysterical, Alec Baldwin had a rough weekend this weekend. He got arrested in New York City for fighting someone over a parking spot. So we're going to discuss that fucking ordeal also. And me and Dan talk Outlaw King, debuting on Netflix November 9th, which happens to be tomorrow, I think, because we're recording it Tuesday. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The end of the week
tomorrow's
is the 6th right now. So it's the end of this week. That's the movie section for you. And then later on in gaming, we're going to clarify a rumor that's been spreaded around the community in a wonderful gaming community, because that's what happens. People fucking make up shit and the whole fucking world explodes. Cue the Joker picture now, right? The PT demo from Konami, which is the Silent Hill playable demo, that's on PS4, is not playable through the update that the PSN just had. So we'll discuss that more in depth. I know I just botched that up. We'll talk about that. It is not true. The rumor is not true. We'll talk about it. Later on in gaming, we talk Darksiders 3. Makes it onto the list specifically for the Xbox One release. If you have it, there's a new patch that allows you to play in 4K. Not only the third, but the first two games as well. So we explain that. We also got the final dates and times for Fallout 76. So if you want to get down on the beta version, we have those details also. And we discussed the positives and negatives of playing a title before launch, which is actually going to be pretty interesting. And last but not least, it was my birthday last weekend, which we'll get into in a second anyway. And we have the PS4 Pro Red Dead Redemption 2 unboxing footage for you guys later on, which I posted up a little teaser for the beginning intro of that video on our Facebook page, since we are climbing in the ranks, made it up to 1,300 people watching the best podcast in New York. So
damn right, 1,300 smart people.
That's right. They know where it's at. We're here. We're here to stay. So, Dan, let's talk about what's going on in your life real quick before we get started.
Mine is not having a webcam. Ironically, I have upgraded my PC. So I was just telling Jeremy before the podcast that I put a new 1070 Ti video card into mine. I added the two 16 gig RAM sticks, so my frames per second are skyrocketing. But you know, some of the games I used to play, I'm not, like I said, you guys mostly know that watch this. I play a lot of my Xbox One X.
Right.
But on this particular occasion, with my video card, I got Monster Hunter World, and it gave me an opportunity to really see what it could do. I was just laughing with Jeremy. My monitor is good. it just, with the frames per second, it's a little low. It was like 65 frames per second smooth, but I actually connected it to my 4K TV to see what the difference was, and it immediately went to 90, perfect, no lag, no disc capture. It was beautiful. So it makes me, again, this is just something else I'll end up buying, will be a 4K monitor, and I'll use the one I have now to use as my secondary.
Yeah, I mean, because you got your Xbox One as your primary for the living room, so you're not going to want to keep the computer hooked up to the TV. Plus, we do the podcast also, so it's just not feasible. But I get it. No, that's awesome. I've been wanting to do that as well, but I'm going to wait till the end of the year because I want to get an i9 processor, which maybe we could talk about in a future podcast. That's my whole thing because I don't want to build something on an i5 or a 7, which 7 isn't bad. A lot of people are doing it with 7 anyway.
I would do personally. You get starters. You gotta
build
a desktop. It's awesome. That's the one thing I do enjoy. Yes, it's more expensive for the people that are listening. My video card would be the same as if I bought an Xbox One X. No, probably like less, but close enough.
Right, it's up there.
It's that you slowly implement into it. So by getting the RAM, for me, I have an SSD drive. My processor's an i7, so I'm feeling good with that. And then, like I told you before, I'd have to upgrade my motherboard to be able to handle more if I wanted. But at this point, everything that I do on my computer runs fine.
Yeah, you're good.
I don't play big things. Like I'm not, but I gotta just do. Like I said, I like to have my computer set up.
Right, and you just want to have the option, you know.
Yep.
So
exactly. Like there are games that are going to come out. For me personally, I can't play exclusive. Like I know PlayStation does a lot of exclusivity, but sometimes they do merge over into the. You can play it on the computer, like through Steam. They'll let you play some of these games, but obviously they're not going to give it up to Xbox. So instead of buying a Pro and just having another goddamn console,
So. I mean, that's actually really smart. I'm happy you did that. One of us had to do it sooner or later because we know where, we've already said it previous podcasts, we know where the generation of gaming is going. So eventually everybody's going to be on PC anyway. But
I also did it for VR too. I'm contemplating a little VR. So I mean, it's just I have a lot of options, but it takes time. It'll take me time to build this up into a full no problem VR.
So in my world, it was my birthday. Number 30. Cheers to me. Hey, we made it, right? I actually had a really good weekend. This shirt, courtesy of my girlfriend's mother, Deb. Thank you, Deb, for hooking it up. And, I have family over. I got to see, a good portion of family. And that's pretty much it. It was a laid-back birthday, man. Nothing crazy these days. I was actually thinking about previous birthday pasts. Oh my God. The one in particular that sticks out to me was my 19th birthday. You would think that like 21 would be the year you go like crazy hard, but nah. My 19th birthday, this one in particular, we went into Manhattan to get drunk. We went like bar hopping through Manhattan, and we actually had to stop to use the bathroom. So in this particular part of Midtown where we were, there was just nowhere to use the bathroom. And there's this one restaurant, they knew it was my birthday because we told them. And they were like, listen, you can use the bathroom, it's fine. So we all go in, and there's 4 of us. So we go in, and one of my friends goes into one stall. The other one of my friends goes to the other stall. I go to the urinal, and my friend Dave is like, yo, what the fuck? What about me? And we were all laughing. And I'm just taking a leak, and the urinal was next to the sink. Next thing you know, I'm going to have one of those little dividers. Next thing I know, I look over, he's next to me. I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? He's pissing in the fucking sink. It was fucking hysterical. And the best part about this story is, as this is happening, somebody walks in to use the bathroom and sees him fucking twigging berries right in the sink. Oh my God.
Needless to say, they didn't stay for dinner.
He fucking left real fast. He walked right out of the bathroom. We were dying. So that was one birthday that stuck out to me in particular. But it was a good time. I like to be laid back now. And,
well, you're older now, man. I wake up every birthday and I thank God I'm alive.
Right, exactly. It's like, thank God I'm here. I'm like where I want to be, so it is what it is. And I treated myself, you'll see later on the podcast, to something I've been wanting to get for a while, but I haven't pulled the trigger on because of situations that that played out, and we'll talk later on when we talk about what we play, what I've been playing, and what's happening under my TV. But let's get into this, Dan. Let's do this. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get started. Okay, so first up on the list, we're going to talk Bohemian Rhapsody. It was released on my birthday, November 2nd, on the Friday, and it was kind of portrayed to not do too well at the box office. So let's talk about that real quick. So Bohemian Rhapsody is a biopic on the band Queen. So us old school folk know some classic rock, and Queen's been around for a long time. And
You've been to a damn sporting event. You've heard them 1,000 times.
right, they play that shit at the NFL, baseball, MLB, even
So
for the
kind of
NBA.
ironic.
Exactly.
Champions of sports playing, an openly gay band.
And they get royalties for every time they use that song.
Rightfully so. But
Yeah,
I would have right with you on that. I didn't think it was going to do great, but I'm not surprised, I guess, if that makes sense. I didn't think it was going to do great, but I'm not surprised it did do well. And I think it'll be another movie, like I always tell you, that's going to pop up on the Best Picture awards and stuff like that. Because if anybody that pays attention to some of those things, it's always the biopics that do good.
Mm-hmm.
I think last year was that horrible fish banging movie, The Shallow Edge or The Shallow Waters or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Before that, it was like The Theory of Everything, which was about Stephen Hawking and stuff like that. So I expect movies like this to do well from a critic standpoint.
I mean, I thought personally that there was enough fans of Queen to push this to the top. I don't know what the number. I don't know what the number was that they spent on making the movie.
More than they already made more.
They definitely made more opening weekend. I think they made like 50 million.
It wasn't one of those movies. Yeah, it wasn't a movie like Waterworld with Kevin Costner where they dropped like 250 mil. It wasn't anything like that.
Exactly.
But if anybody knows the background of Queen, you know what I mean. Like this story has a good running. Like this guy wasn't, Freddie Mercury. All other things kept out of it because people might not like him for whatever his sexual orientation, what he was singing about. Who cares? The fact of the matter is, the guy was an amazing singer. Simple. And look at the way people still listen to his songs now. I could probably put on like 3 of them for a kid that's like 8. He'd know exactly. He wouldn't know who sang them. He wouldn't know the background story of it, but he knows the songs. He knows "We Are the Champions." You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm not surprised. Like I said, it's not something I've checked out personally. But it is something I will watch. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just not a big movie guy like we always talk about going in for that matter and seeing the movies in the movie theater.
The actor that plays Freddie Mercury, he does a really good job. He's in Mr. Robot, right?
Yes. I'm trying to remember his name. I picture his face right now.
Yeah, I can't think of his name either. We should have done our research, but he did a really good job.
That's what I mean. Like that
really
alone was worth it.
Right. So it was something that took us off. It took us by surprise. I'm glad it did well, honestly, because a lot of people was really putting it down. So I'm happy it did as well as it did. So we'll leave that at that. Because, we got a lot of shit going on right now. But, so Bohemian Rhapsody, glad it did well. Let's move on to this shitty fucking topic. Why? Why does the DC universe keep showing up at the best podcast in New York? We'll tell you why, because we need to talk shit about it. That's why. So, apparently, the director, why didn't I write his name down? I think it's Joe Green. I don't even fucking know.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even matter. So supposedly it's done. They finished it. It's who?
James Wan.
James Wan. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. We all know
right, James Wan. Or at least it's not fucking Zack Snyder. I mean, we'll give it that much. All right.
We'll give it that. And it's already getting an upgrade.
It's already getting an upgrade, right. So apparently they're done filming the movie. And they're touting it to be this wonderful, great movie that everybody's going to love. All of the DC fans are going to be so happy with Aquaman. Aquaman, the guy that talks to fish. You're going to be wonderful. They can't do nothing with Batman, right? Oh my God. So anyway, all right. So they finished recording this movie. Producing the movie. And they're so confident about this production, like we said, that they're ready. They would bump it up and release it now if they could. I want to pull up this article real quick.
But still, what gets me is that it's the only movie DC is dropping this year. So you're putting all your proverbial eggs in one basket. You're praying. And again,
Aquaman's
that is
basket.
not even that, man. For all I know, this movie could turn out like phenomenal, right? But the thing is, why would you bank when you've done so poorly in comparison? Why are you banking all of your shit on Aquaman, which is not, in all honesty, it's not really one of the bigger known. Yes, we know it through the comic books and things like that, but as far as like a layman looking at this, they'd be like, who the hell's Aquaman? It's not Superman appeal. It's not Batman appeal. It's not Wonder Woman appeal. So do you know what I mean? Like, I almost would have still dropped, I would have waited, dropped Wonder Woman 2, then dropped
3.
this.
Wonder Woman 3. I think there is 2.
No, there's not.
There isn't?
There a third. When was there a second one?
I thought there was 2. I thought
She was in the dark, like when Batman vs Superman, but then she had her own singular.
so they didn't put that out
No,
yet.
then
Okay.
Justice League was after that, so she's
Right.
never like they're talking. They're going to do that. So if they do a second Wonder Woman, I would have dropped that already in the same fiscal year because that's going to get a lot of bank.
Right.
People are really like, you know what I mean? Like I think that's what's going to make Captain Marvel do so good.
Exactly. Female role
are going to do very well because I think we're all at this point where none of us are going to say it's not going to do good. We just want to see something different.
Exactly.
I don't. Aquaman, you could have done good with this 10 years ago.
Well,
I think that, again, another movie that shows the example. They waited too long.
All right. So let's before you go on. All right. So now this has been 2 years in the making. Why they put their eggs in this basket, nobody knows. And supposedly it's coming out next month. I haven't seen a trailer for it. I don't know about you.
Dude, what are you talking about? There's like 50 of them.
There's 50 of them? I haven't even fucking seen one. That's how far removed I am from DC right now. I haven't even seen one trailer yet. So maybe I'm not the right person to be talking about this. But I'm going to tell you like this. Honestly, we know the track record, all right? You got the shitty Suicide Squad movie. And no offense to Will Smith. I love you as an actor, but like, come on, man. All right? You got the shitty Suicide Squad movie. So there's an X right there. You got Batman vs Superman, which, you know, they made it so climactic. Like, this is going to be the best fucking thing ever. You're going to get to see Batman fight Superman. It was not even anything against Ben Affleck. I feel like he could have portrayed the role great, but the director was trash, right? And then you got the Justice League movie, which it's just so hard to even just follow through the whole
Superman
movie.
one too, though. But the first Superman, the guy, ironic, what's his Harvey Keitel, however you say his name. He looks
Cavill, Henry Cavill,
just like a perfect Superman. But that first one sucked too. Kevin Costner playing a random role. Like, I don't know, man. Like I said, they just did really shitty across the board.
So this is my prediction. My prediction is this is going to be a bomb. Now, this could be the best movie ever, but if you strike out 4 fucking times, no one is going to fucking no one's going to go see it in the movies. They're all going to wait till it's on Netflix or whatever they end up selling the property to. And if I'm not mistaken, WB owns the property of DC. So I don't really think that DC is going to stay afloat much longer. If they're thinking that this is going to be the movie that keeps them borderline.
They have so many ready to go, dude.
Well, I mean, I know there's the one with Joe Quinn.
Key release dates, because I'm looking at it right there. We got Aquaman coming out in the end of December, right? Then in April of next year, you get Shazam. In October of next year, you get the Joker. Then in February of 2020, you get Birds of Prey. And then at the end of 2020, you're going to get Wonder Woman 1984. So they're just trying to line it up, but even everybody I just named there, it doesn't grab you.
Nothing. None of
Marvel,
that.
like I said, and I'm a bigger DC fan than Marvel, but the Marvel movies, they just laid it out better. Now, maybe I'm forgetting because it's so long ago, like how they did, because I don't really remember. Like now at the end of Marvel, I'm watching all these, and I'm enjoying them, but I don't remember rushing to get to see Iron Man 2.
Well, right. Iron Man 2 is the one out of the trilogy that nobody really likes. I mean, I didn't think it was bad, but it made sense in the storyline. But
did you run out to see that in the movie theater?
No, obviously not. But you know what? Marvel had a plan. They stuck to it through it. They didn't have a big budget to begin with when they started the universe. So it's like from what they came from, they really shined through it. They pushed through those movies like Iron Man 2, they had 2 failures with Hulk. Nobody remembers that. You know, the first, very, very first Hulk movie they tried to start the universe with, nobody even remembers. It's
Yeah,
some
it was
actor, I don't
Liv
even remember his
Tyler was in it.
name.
Liv
Yeah,
Tyler and the guy that was from Troy. I always
right,
forget his name. But yeah,
exactly.
that was bad. And then you had the Edward Norton one.
Exactly. So it's just like, you know, they had to strike out a few times to get to where they're at, but I feel like with DC Universe they hyped it up so much that they were expecting people to just jump on this train to compete with Marvel like they've done since the freaking 30s in the
I think
comics. You know, it just didn't work
personally,
out
I
like
think
that.
they should have jumped on it when they were letting out like the Batman ones. Like
Right.
Batman Begins, like all the Christopher Nolan 3 trilogy was really good. I don't
Right.
blame him for getting off it, but
I
they should have
agree.
tried to throw shit in there. So even if they sucked, we wouldn't have remembered because we would
Like
have been like, "Oh my god, The Dark Knight was so good," and you know what I mean. The Dark Knight Rises is so good, and then
right.
you would have forgotten. And by that point, you're now into the mix of it where we're all getting pumped. But I don't know.
Exactly. I mean, or at least if they couldn't really lock down Nolan, they should have had somebody like, listen, he laid the groundwork. You need to continue this.
Mhm.
And that would have been perfectly fine. But obviously, you can't. Two directors have different visions. We've talked about that so many times. It's like even if they wanted to stay on his playing field, it's a different person doing it. Like, you know, that's why Justice League is so shitty. They switched up directors halfway through the movie, so it's like you don't even know what the fuck you're getting in the end of it. So I mean, that's where it's at. I guess we're gonna see. We're gonna do box office bombs of 2018 sooner or later, so we'll see if they end up on the list, which I'm guaranteeing they probably will. I mean, hold it against me. If I'm wrong, tell me. But I honestly don't think it's gonna do well. That's where I'm at. And Dan, I know you're right there with me, so
Oh, absolutely.
that's what that is. So let's
Fucking
move.
Aquaman, give me a break.
I know, right? The guy that talks to fish. You're banking on him.
Listen, Khal Drogo, stick to Game of Thrones.
Jesus Christ, right? All right, so let's talk about this funny ass shit. This is hysterical because you know what? When this hit the topic list, I didn't really see the video or pictures of this happening or occurring, and the memes that followed after this was hysterical. Also, all right, so Alec Baldwin had a very interesting weekend 2 weekends ago because not this weekend that just passed. It was the weekend before, I'm pretty sure. He gets into an altercation over a parking spot in the city. And what's funny is me and Dan commute to the city every day. We are New Yorkers at heart. You got the background right above us. Like, we are there. We're in it. We see the worst of the worst kinds of people every fucking day. Even today, I've been so shot. It's only Tuesday, and I barely could keep my eyes open on the train. And somebody was listening to Facebook videos with their phone on full blast on the ride home tonight before we did this podcast. And I literally opened my eyes. I'm like, why do I hear dogs barking? And I look over, and this guy is just like looking at his phone. And the lady next to me is like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, I'm gonna say something. So I waited. I gave him a courtesy like 20 seconds, and I was like, "Yo, do you got fucking headphones?" And the guy didn't even want to turn around. He shut his phone right off. I wasn't playing. Like, come on. Like, this is like rush hour on the way home. I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning. There is nothing you're gonna
Well,
say to me.
what car were you in?
What do you mean?
You're not a quiet car man. So if you
No.
want quiet, you get your ass into the quiet car. You know, come
Yo,
on.
but still, seriously, like, have some
I
respect.
agree,
All right.
100%. Yo, you should be in the quiet car. Who are you?
Etiquette. It's train etiquette. All right, we talk about this. You don't sit bitch in the three people seat. All right, it's fucking etiquette. You should just know these things.
Like when there's 3 urinals, somebody's at the left one, somebody's at the right one. You just don't pee.
You just go to the stall. Just go to the fucking stall. It's
You
etiquette.
wait. It's etiquette, man.
You don't pee in the sink, Russia. You don't pee in the sink. All right, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so I can understand where he's coming from, especially on the road. Since we take the train, we see different kinds of assholes. All right, when you're driving, it is 1,000 times worse.
Yeah,
People
I
don't
drive
give a
in. I just did.
fuck. Taxi drivers, nobody gives a shit. You got fucking 18 wheelers. They're trying, and you know what? I give those guys a little credit because nobody cares about them. So they're trying to maneuver and to do their job, and nobody cares about them. But like, people just don't give a fuck. And Alec Baldwin went in. He got out of the fucking car and he was like, listen, you son of a bitch, you're going to back the fuck up. And, you know, sure enough, the cops get called. Obviously, he's a fucking actor. As soon as the guy realized who he was partly like, wow, but then like, yo, you're a scumbag. Why the fuck? I'm trying to get in the spot. And then it just leads into a whole shitstorm of shit. And he got arrested, and I'm sure he went in there with a fucking smile on his face because obviously there's no bail high enough to lock him in. You know, like, come on.
But he's been done it before.
Right, this isn't his first fucking rodeo. And, you know.
And then talking like Trump would have been funny as hell, like in a skit.
Oh, my God. Yeah, right, that would have been hysterical.
Stuff, yeah.
Right. But, so, you know, he got arrested, and I'm sure he's fine now. I mean, come on.
Funny.
You know, it is hysterical, though, that happened. And the memes that followed that, I mean, a lot of people aren't going to understand it because they're not from Long Island, but, like, he's from the town I grew up in, and they started writing all this shit. Like, you know, you could take the man out of Massapequa, but you can't take the Massapequa out of the man. It was hysterical. I was getting a kick out of it, but hey, shit happens. Welcome to New York. We are not nice people if you're not from here, unfortunately. Some people are. You know, like, I will give you directions. I won't send you to Harlem, I promise. You know, but, you know, sometimes it's just like you need to have etiquette. That's all.
Like,
that's
for instance, if you were just walking on the train and somebody just yelled hi to you, how would you respond?
It's just like, the fuck you talk? I'd probably look behind me like, who is this guy talking to? It's not me. Jesus, you know? But anyway, and you know what? A lot of you out-of-towners that come to New York, you need to realize there are people that live here that are struggling. And I haven't even got to tell Dan that the station that I was getting off at, where we were both heading to in the morning, there was 3 holdups at gunpoint. People getting robbed at gunpoint at that station recently. So, the Jefferson Street station. Okay. So, you know, you got to be careful if you're going through the city. You don't know who's who. So just be a little mindful. So we'll leave that at that, and let's move into the last topic of the movie section. The last one here. Oh, wow, I'm already in gaming. Me and Dan talk about Outlaw King debuting on Netflix November 9th. Now, this is on Dan because I didn't have the chance to do the research. So, Dan, take it away.
Oh, I'm excited about this movie because it's actually, before you even get into it, it stars Chris Pine. Sorry, most people know him from when he did the newer Star Trek versions. One of the movies that I really enjoyed is the same director, and he also starred in what's called Hell or High Water.
Right.
Followed like him and his brother around, Robin Banks. So the director and Pine grouped up again for this, The Outlaw King. This is something I get really into. He plays a lot of video games on the train. I tend to read a lot. So I read a lot of historical fiction, and this is something that plays right into that. It actually follows around the story of Robert the Bruce. Right. For people that don't know who that is, if any of you who might be about the same age as me, some people are younger. I've watched my nephew who's younger watch it. The movie Braveheart with Mel Gibson, phenomenal movie. He's like the co-star, so to speak, to it. He's
also in Blade.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Mel Gibson, it's not the same actor, but what I mean is by the story is Mel Gibson portrays William Wallace, part of the Scottish, when the Scots are trying to break away from English control in about the 1400s. So now what this is a backstory to how Robert the Bruce, who people who've seen Braveheart met, who is trying to be king of Scotland. This is how he gains his power through the nobility, and how they finally tell themselves they've had enough. For people that know a little bit about history, obviously England controlled a lot. We all know about their empire. Right. Exactly. They did a lot of imperialism. They did a lot of colonialism. We know that here in the United States, but they did the same thing close to them, whether it was Ireland or Scotland. So this actually looks like, I love that. Like I said, the director's the same. Pine starring in it again, and it looks phenomenal. Like, it's something that I've always liked, and I've always wanted to see the backstory. I've read a few books on it, so I'm really interested to see how they portray it. It looks good. I guess it depends. With a Netflix budget, like what can they really do? The battle scenes don't have to be over the top, but some of them are going to have to be.
Right.
Because you're really going to see when England gets pissed and they send in their full army, that's when you're going to see a full, horse cavalry, so on and so forth, coming at you. So I guess we'll have to go over that. It looks really good.
Let me pause you on that. So now you were saying, like, what can they do with this Netflix property? There's $130 million budget for this movie.
Look at that.
So it's gonna be good. I would imagine it would be good from just
Isn't
that
that
alone.
incredible? I mean, just from knowing that number, that's incredible.
That's incredible. It's going to be something really to look forward to, and that's coming really soon, end of this week. We all can get
Yeah.
to see it as long as you have Netflix. That looks awesome. That's great. Great. It was a great topic to bring to the table. Honestly, I'd look forward to it. You know, I was a
Yeah,
big
I think it's gonna
Braveheart
be a
fan.
good movie. I think it's gonna be you're gonna have a little bit of action.
Definitely. That was
As
for
far
the
as the love
battle
story aspect, I
scenes.
don't think it's the battle is what it's gonna be
Right.
all about. Because if you've watched the movie Braveheart, it's the same thing. This is loosely based on history, but you couldn't beat England; they were just overpowered everybody,
Right.
so you had to be sneaky. Like, how did America win in the American Revolution? We did guerrilla warfare.
Exactly.
How did you know what I mean? How did Brits beat Napoleon? They have to invent or adapt to the war. So that's the same type of chemistry that's going to happen here. How can they
Exactly.
beat an overwhelming army? And that's what I always like about stuff like that. It's cool to
Right.
see.
I agree. And then speaking of Netflix, this didn't make it to the list this week because I figured we would talk about it this upcoming week. Um, the properties from Marvel Netflix, for whatever reason, they canceled Iron Fist and the next season of Luke Cage, which I
Hmm.
know you haven't kept up with the Marvel
No, I've always been.
the Marvel properties, which is really interesting to me because I felt like Iron Fist was at its best for this season. I don't know why they decided to cancel it, and they're keeping Jessica Jones, which also doesn't make sense to me. I thought she was the weakest character out of the four. So they're keeping that, and Daredevil season 3 was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Um,
You're good things.
it was really good, really good, especially because you didn't know what happened to Matt Murdock at the end of the Defender series. So it's like it was a mystery until up until this point, which we could go into more detail next week. But I wanted to bring that up also that they are definitely, without a doubt, canceling Luke Cage and Iron Fist, which I enjoyed the last two seasons of both. So I don't understand how that happened, but that also makes you think there shouldn't be another Defenders also, which also means they should have put them in the Infinity War like they were supposed to be, like in the comic book. Maybe that would have boosted the whole morale for that. Who knows? But it's interesting since we're on the topic of Netflix. We'll go into detail more about it. I want to do a little bit more research, but I thought it was bullshit. The first,
It's crazy. I would have thought that they do really really well with their series. So I'd be
right.
kind of surprised. Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of people were talking shit about the Iron Fist portrayal in the Netflix series wasn't too close to the comic adaptation, so I can understand that in the beginning, but I felt like in my view of it was like they were building up for the character, and that's why the third season was better than the first. Actually, the second season. Second season was better than the first, but who knows? I could be wrong. But I did look into it because I thought the first few articles were bullshit. Because I've heard that before that they were canceling Luke Cage and then they hit us with another season. So who knows? Maybe like if they stir up some trouble, there'll be another one. Who knows? But it's interesting. Interesting how that worked out. So that being said, that is the end of the movie portion for the week of October 28th slash November 4th. So if you guys are tuning out, we'll see you later. Peace out. All right. Moving on to the gaming section of this week's Assassin Cast. All right, Dan, you ready to clarify this fucking rumor that's going around?
I don't even get what the fuck these guys are all. Where do they even come
Okay.
up with half this stuff? Is what blows my mind.
All right. Exactly.
That's what I know. You get pissed with the two.
I get it. I get really pissed. All right. So, well, let's give a little backdrop. I know you're not too familiar with this. So, the folks at Konami, our wonderful division that gets getting changed up every time we look at them. They were just on the podcast last week about how they were switching up their divisions and the people that lead them. So anyway, if you guys don't have a PlayStation, I mean, I'm just getting up with. I noticed there was an update. I'll put that out there because every time there's an update on one console, it updates on the other consoles that are hooked up to the internet. So I saw that there was an update for PS3 as well as PS4, and I'm sure the Vita and the PSP, anything that hooks up to the internet, had an update. And there was a rumor going around that the PT demo, the playable demo for Silent Hill that never came. That game never came out. They had Norman Reedus in it. I don't know if you heard about this.
No, I didn't.
He was part of the project, and it got canned really fast. And whoever got the demo on PlayStation, the PSN, PlayStation Network, they were able to hold on to it and keep it on their hard drive. So obviously, you know how hard drive space is. That shit is, it's money at the end of the day. It's like you want to play the next title, you got to remove shit. And that game never came out, but you were still able to play the demo. And supposedly it was really fucking scary. I'm just getting to it now. I don't think I'm able to even get the demo at this point. So it's like people were selling their PlayStations with the demo on it for crazy money because
Really?
nobody was able to even get it. Yeah, this was like a year or two ago. So this rumor goes around that this new update makes that demo unplayable. That you cannot play that demo for shit. Now, hopefully, the folks at Konami, hear this shit and hopefully bring back the project. That would be the best case scenario that this caused so much ruckus. But it's not true. It was debunked. And this is coming from Game Informer. The author of the article is very credible, so I know that it's not true. So this whole rumor going around isn't true. It's not. So apparently it's like it was supposed to be the next adaptation of Silent Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, why can't I think of his name? I think it's Kojima. I want to say
The guy
Kojima.
who developed it.
Yeah, the dude that developed, I think, Mega Man. I want to say it's the dude that made Mega Man. Um, he was having problems at Konami anyway. He was on its way out, and for whatever reason, the project got scrapped, and a lot of people were looking forward to that game. It was supposed to be really fucking scary. If you play the demo, you get freaked out. And a lot of people.
That was good back in the day too. I remember the originals. I used to love them.
Silent Hill games were great. They were
Yeah,
really
I
fucking
mean, those
good.
were a lot of fun. Even to play like on the full screen in the arcade, when you get the gun and shit. Like those were legit, dude. Like I always felt like they did really well.
Right. So it was
just they were coming back when it was going to be big like this, like 4K. You know what's funny though, and off topic a little bit. I'm surprised for games like this. Like, how have they not made like a new, gun?
Oh, right. I mean? A gun con, right. There should be a gun con.
How come like the 1X or your Pro? How come we don't have anything like that? Like I've just thought of that as we were talking. I'm like, you know what? Like, you remember the shotgun you used to get at some of those fucking
like the bullshit.
The whole reason I paid $1 to play. But that's what I mean. Or the AK you put up to your shoulder that vibrated.
Well, I mean, now we got VR. I feel like that's moving towards VR now because there was actually I'm surprised I didn't add this to the list. There was a patch released recently for Duck Hunt for the NES where you could actually use your actual, I don't know if it was the actual Nintendo zapper, but you could use it on your LCD TV. So the way my father explained it to me was that the way the light guns work is it goes by the speed of frame, and the LCD moves so fast that it doesn't pick up the light from the gun. So no guns work on an actual LCD TV or LED for that matter. But there was a patch that was released that slowed or sped up the timing to match the timing of the LCD, where you can actually play Duck Hunt on your LED TV.
That'd be cool as hell.
Yeah, that's really fucking cool. So who knows what can come of this or what's going to be developed. And there was 3 patches. I looked it up. I haven't been able to patch a ROM yet. But it was Wild Gunman, Duck Hunt, and there was something else. I can't think of the third one. But there was 3 ROMs. It wasn't just Duck Hunt. But the one I saw was Duck Hunt, and a good friend of ours, John Riggs, over there, he actually posted up the video, and it got a crazy amount of views because everybody was like, yo, how is this happening? So good looks, John Riggs, for bringing that to my attention. I got, I have a good friend that does ROM hacks. Talked to him, and I got the link. I just didn't patch the ROMs yet because I've just been so busy recently. But I will be able to get it for us, Dan. We should actually show people how that works.
That'd be cool as hell.
Yeah. So that's that. So if you guys that were bugging out about the PT demo, don't. You are still able to play it, and I'm sure if you have it, you already know this. A
Yeah.
lot of people were afraid to do their update because of that very reason, and it's like, listen, there are a lot of reasons they do updates. It's not only for piracy, because recently that didn't make it to the topic list either. Somebody got not arrested, sued by Sony for selling PS4s that were hacked with a bunch of games on it, a bunch of PS4 titles on it. So, it could be from that for the new update, but a lot of times they're fixing bugs in the system and shit of that nature. So, it's nothing that you need to worry about if you were interested in the demo. If you're pirating games, then yeah, you should be worried about the update. And we don't condone that here at the Assassin Cast. Don't pirate your fucking games. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. How many times we
Oh
gotta
my
tell you?
God. How many times are we gonna tell you? I mean, we don't hate on emulation, but seriously, don't be selling it.
Selling it. Yep, that's what I mean.
That's like whatever. Anyway, moving on. This topic coming from the good old co-host Daniel
Oh
McCall.
yeah.
Damn, Daniel.
I
Damn,
pulled out a
Daniel.
few here and there. Trying to pull this guy out of the gutter when he's done for his birthday.
Who definitely helped me out because I put this list together real fast last weekend. Darksiders 3. I actually had to go and do a little research too
It's a
on
good
this.
game, dude.
It is a good game. Yeah. It's
It's
very
yeah.
what's the word I'm looking for?
It's like action RPG. Like I said, it's like a bigger game than
Right.
most people would think. It's not like a. I guess a lot of games are getting like that now. Like when I think of something like Tomb Raider or
Right.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man
Or
was a lot quicker, I think, right? Like people are beating that pretty quick. It wasn't like
I
people were
don't think it
putting in
was
80 hours, 100 hours into the game that I can recall.
I don't recall it being that long, but they did just release DLC for Spider-Man, and
Makes sense.
I'm gonna get it. It's
I
one
hate
of the
that
games
shit.
on the list. Right, but
I hate
they
that,
said it's
though.
like a whole nother part of the game.
I just like those old school. That's why I love like the old school RPGs. Like I said, when I was going back and replaying Kingdom Hearts, that I can just put like
Right.
60 hours into it. I'm not downloading anything else, and I'm just if I want to complete everything, I can just do it. Simple. But as far as Darksiders go, what really caught my eye, because it'll bring me back to a few critiques of our pro boy across the way there, but it's that when you get Darksiders 3 when it's released, you're actually going to be able to get what they're throwing in with it is Darksiders 1 and 2. So people that
Right.
might not want to just start on the third game, even though a lot of these games, it's not necessarily required you play it.
Right. A lot of times they do a backstory anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
But this gives me high hopes because my brain is already thinking of this. When Kingdom Hearts comes out, they're going to give me Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 in the exact same fashion.
Right.
And I'll have them all on my Xbox One X, but I digress. I'm like, anyway, the biggest thing is they're going to put them all in 4K native.
Right. So now you'll be able to play Darksiders 1 through 3 in native 4K on the Xbox One X, which is unbelievable. And we should actually clarify something because I found this out also as well, just picking up the Pro, that there is a boost mode where you could boost the older titles to run in HDR in 4K. It's not native, but it's boosting the actual game. It's not like the Xbox One X, but it's not terrible either. That's
Well, the only reason why I brought this up too is not so much for the game, but it brings me to something that I've been telling you that I've been watching, is that the Pro PS4 in my mind, when you would put them together, would have the edge. It's got these exclusivity in games. But what's unfortunately happening is they're not putting the effort behind them. So when we're getting some of these games, they're looking like shit in comparison to the One X.
right.
And they're rushing it, and people are laughing because they're promoting all this money into, let's say, Spider-Man, which did look really good.
Spider-Man looked great, yeah.
Being the odd man out, but even like your Red Dead Redemption that you just got, and games like that that you can actually compare the two. They're showing that PlayStation's really lagging behind, man. They're not putting the effort into the actual visualization. They're calling it there's a gloss to the game. It's not as clean as the Xbox One X, which is interesting.
It is interesting, and I could agree with you. Like, if it's not a AAA title, it's not looking amazing. Like let's give it for instance, real quick. Like, if you the 3 or 4 that come to my mind, Assassin's Creed Origins, let's say even the new one, Odyssey, right?
What do you mean that's going to come out on both?
No, that are on both. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I mean. So Red Dead Redemption,
Wolfenstein 2, right? Let's put what else? Red Dead Redemption, I guess.
Tomb Raider would be another one.
Right. Or let's say Spider-Man and let's say God of War, right?
There you
These
go.
are
Yeah.
all AAA titles, and they only on the AAA titles are you're getting the real deal HDR like 4K experience. I'm not seeing that, but with the Xbox One X, you're getting 4K everywhere, even for the backwards compatible shit. Even on the original Xbox games, you're getting in a huge increase of resolution, which they're looking phenomenal. The backwards compatibility on the Xbox One X is amazing. And
Yep.
especially with me, I got 20
Yeah.
years of fucking Sony under my TV. And the newest system where you would want to actually play stuff in 4K or at least a higher resolution, you can't. You
It's not
can't.
handling it. That's what
Yeah.
they're trying to figure out what's going on. And I don't
Right.
think it's a software issue. I think it's just a matter of putting your time into it.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's interesting how that is, how
Because I
that
feel
came
like it's gonna
about.
push you guys. It's gonna push, and I say you guys just because like I see his PlayStation shirt from here, but it's pushing PlayStation. They're like rushing it. They
Right.
have so much marketing money, like for these games. Like when you see these commercials, is in comparison to like, because again, there's not many exclusive Xbox games where
Right.
people have to remember that. You got Halo, probably a few other my brain's not really thinking of, but for the most part, they're on everything
Right.
because PlayStation came out so early. They were smart. They wrapped some of these games up.
Yeah, a lot of developers have probably a contract with PlayStation.
Now I think what Xbox is doing is they want to show them that certain games that they only that they both have that they'll just destroy them. Maybe that'll open up the door down the road, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Sometimes I don't want all this exclusivity. I want these
Right.
games to be cross. Like people love. Maybe that's why we still have two consoles for that exact reason. But I do like the idea of being able to play everything.
Well, and we both know that it's going to be obsolete anyway. The console is going
Enough.
to end up going the way of the dinosaur sooner or later because, not everybody's going to want to drop $400 every 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah.
They're going to want to be able to just upgrade like with a PC, and that's what's going to happen. And even the PC is, they're pushing 8K, 8K.
It's
The
crazy. Right?
resolution on the PC is incredible right now. So, it's just something to keep in mind. So let's move on to the last topic before we get into a little unboxing video. Um,
Lucky bastards.
let's see. Okay, we got the final dates this time for Fallout 76. So if you want to get down on the beta version, we have the details. Also, while I'm getting these details, then why don't we talk about the positives and negatives for getting a beta version of a game that hasn't been launched yet? Why don't we
Uh,
do that?
For me, I can actually talk from experience. I've done betas before, not for specifically console games like this, but I
Right.
have for World of Warcraft, this game called it was Star Wars: The Old Republic. I used to beta them with my brother and stuff when we were younger, and
Right.
then still played on beta servers while playing those games, so you could play at the top level of the game. That was really the whole point of doing it. But again, it's only for select people. Like people don't realize that. Like it's really, really hard to try. People are trying to stay above the game. That's really what it is. So somebody for like Fallout like this, if I was going to play the beta, it's because when I walk in to playing the game live and real, I want to be already a pro, so to speak, and you're still wearing training shoes. You know what I mean? So you're gonna just get dog walked, as we put it. You're
Right.
gonna get wrecked. But again, it depends because it's good in the sense that it's supposed to be telling these developers what's wrong with the game. But sometimes people need to realize too, they don't really take your advice.
Right.
Like take select people's advice for, oh, is this really fixing the game or what's not working? For them, they're just looking for the main like programming bugs, like how can the server handle this amount of people? How does the map handle? Are there parts that are like, dead spots where people walk into and something happens? But
Exactly.
I don't know. Like I said, I haven't done them in a while. It's been years since I've actually played through a lot of betas. But I mean, I can't see it all being bad. But like I said, for the people that really do it hardcore, those are the guys that just want to go in and literally dog walk you and you start playing. And Fallout's
Exactly.
going to be like an MMO pretty much on the console. So I
Exactly.
know it's
Exactly.
gonna be. That's what's gonna happen, man. You're gonna get wrecked.
Right. Right. So now, so the dates we have here is November 1st, November
Yeah.
3rd, which have passed, the 4th, which has passed, 6th, and 8th. And apparently, they're not giving you the beta version. They're giving you sessions to play the beta version,
Yeah.
which might prevent some of the things that you were just talking about. 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on the 6th, which was that today?
It's more
That's
for
today.
them than for you in that
Right.
sense. And that beta sounds like they're testing their part of the game and making sure that the game will flow, and they're not really going to change. It's not really giving you a competitive edge in that sense. That's
Exactly.
the
And
way I
then
look at it.
also 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. the 8th. So by the time you see this, it'll probably be the last day. And you know what? I agree with Dan. Sometimes when it comes to the online games, yeah, it's going to give some people a competitive edge from when the game actually comes out. But the positive is you get to see what the developer has been working hard on, right? You get to see what is exactly you're buying. Spending $60 on a new game, it could even be higher than that at this point,
Tax, yeah, it's 65, 60.
right? 65. You want to know what you're getting. You want to know if it's worth it or not. That's why YouTube reviews are really good, especially the editors or people like us that get games ahead of time, which we haven't actually had to review anything so far yet in the short time of the podcast. But I'm sure within reason, sooner or later we will be. Um, you know, when those people get the games and they show you what is like 40 minutes of gameplay, or they give you an article explaining on what exactly is coming soon, you get to see what you're actually going to buy. So that's a positive. A negative is you're not actually getting to see the final version of the game. Sometimes the beta version is completely fucking different than the alpha version, the game that you actually get. So, like, the one that sticks out to me in particular is Star Wars Battlefront that came out last year, right? Star Wars Battlefront, people got the beta and they were excited. They were online, they were playing, they were going hard, they were ranking up their characters, they were getting to a point where they were getting really good. But guess what? The second you got the real version, that character that you leveled up is gone. Gone. You're starting from scratch. So you're devoting all this time into it, and you don't even really get to play it. Play as what you've put the time in for. So it has negatives too. It's not only positive. So that's it. But if you want to try out Fallout, you have November 8th, because obviously today is already done. For the 6th, it was 1 to 3, which for me or for Dan, we won't even be able to get to experience that because we're not even home yet from work to experience something like that. So November 8th is the last time you could actually try out Fallout, and hopefully the podcast will be out before then.
Well, that's why I
So,
tell you. For me, it's more like that's why it's not meant for that.
right,
That's what I can tell immediately from it, at least for me,
exactly. 2
is
to
that
8
it's not
November 8th.
meant um for that type of experience. It just wants they want to hash out their few things, which is fine, and people get to see the game. But sometimes that's what they want to do. They just want to give you a taste, and
Right.
they might grab a few people. But you got to remember, most of the people that play a beta are the guys that are already hooked.
Exactly.
You're
They're the
playing
ones
the
that
beta,
they
you're
got it
hooked.
now.
Like that's the way I look at it. If I'm playing a beta of something, like I'm getting it, unless like that beta is complete and utter dog shit. But in my experience, I have yet to have that happen. Where
Right.
I've played something, I'm like, this is awful.
Exactly. So yeah, so that's where it's at with Fallout. I mean, hey, if you want to try and check it out now while you can before you have to wait to play it. So, hey, why not? We're all about that. So now for the last topic of this week's Assassin Cast, we're gonna get to show you some footage of me unboxing the PS4 Pro. And I was happy as shit. And honestly, to be completely honest, I did not open the box before I did the video. So this is like my genuine reaction to what's in the box and what it comes with in case you are looking forward to buying a PS4 Pro. So you
Just
get
get ready. You get to see a grown man cry.
right, you get to see like the tears of joy. No, it's not that bad. It's not like that, but you get to see what it is. So we're gonna go to that right now. So I'm going to try to do this to the best of my ability because I have nothing holding my phone here. So bear with me. That sounds good. I'm surprised Dan didn't do this with his Xbox One X. Ooh, look at that, guys. Hold on, let me... Alright, now that it took me a year and a fucking day to figure out how to get the shot, I got it. Let's see what we got here. This looks incredible, actually. That would, fucking the box up here. Nice little white box. Nice and nice here. Figure out how to open the damn thing. Alright, so right away on the top we got regular PS4 controller. Oh, nice. They gave you some headphones, I guess, with microphone. And you got the HDMI cable. Hopefully this is 4K, and the guy didn't lie to me. Oh, it says high-speed cable, okay. Alright. We got the controller hookup to charge, I'm assuming, because it's USB, micro USB, and the power cord. Now, since we know it's the bundle, look what they threw in there. Red Dead Redemption 2, sealed. We got some other shit. Let's try to get this bad boy out. Alright. What else we got here? Quick start guide and manuals, which we probably won't open and keep that fresh. Ooh, they gave you stickers. Now we're talking business here. Giving you some stickers. I guess it was worth the $500 just for the stickers alone, right?
$500.
Well, $430 and change. So yeah, they give you some information here about PlayStation Now, PlayStation Store, and PlayStation Plus, along with the stickers. Entertainment, blah, 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 blah. Oh, QR code also. Alright, that's cool. Let's take a look at the beast itself. And you know we're holding on to all of these, you know, that's for sure. Ooh, that looks good. Check that out. Slick lines, and you know this thing is a beast. Can't wait to stick it into the TV and see how it rocks. So there it is, guys. That's the Pro bundle with the Red Dead Redemption 2. Maybe I'll give you an update in a few when we're sitting around waiting for the damn thing to load up. And I know Dan's gonna laugh at this. I also picked up what I've been wanting to play, Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll check you later on this week's podcast, by the way. Special birthday podcast. Later. All right, and that, ladies and gentlemen,
is a grown man crying.
It was a grown man crying. Nah, it was short and sweet, about 5-10 minutes. You get to see what it is. It obviously came with Red Dead Redemption 2, the controller, and stuff that comes in the box. Quick little story, real quick. That thing, as soon as I hooked it up to the TV, was asking me about my Facebook. It was a whole different experience, which we could talk about later. Also, I came to the realization when me and Dan were talking the other night is now we could actually stream. So any PS4 title or maybe a classic that's on PS4, we could actually stream now directly onto our Facebook page, which is awesome. So that's something to look forward to for us.
Watch me play some games. I'm not allowed to do that just so people here listen to know you don't want to watch me play games.
You don't want to watch Dan get
I am an angry man when I play games.
Oh, you guys are going to get to see. It'll be a good time. It'll definitely be a good time.
Whooping ass in Street Fighter, which happens often when I play my man here.
Oh, yeah, man. I've been losing like crazy. But, hey, it is what it is. Got to have fun. And especially when we're playing Knockout Kings, that'd be a great one to play on the stream. That was a good time. But anyway, we'll do something good for sure. So before we get out of here, let's talk about what we're playing right now. What are you playing right now? I haven't even got to ask you.
Oh, I said it earlier in the podcast. What I've been messing around with a little bit was Monster Hunter World. Because I got a few.
That's right.
My nephew from California, he plays it a little bit because he does a lot of stuff with Steam. Because he doesn't, obviously being a Marine, he doesn't have a console, but he has something that we all chipped in to help him buy before he went on after his first deployment was Alienware, a laptop.
Oh, nice.
So he's got a gaming laptop. So he's got a few games. Anytime he gets one, he lets me know.
Nice.
We usually try to get together, but it's like a 5-man type of game. Still trying to get into it a little bit.
So that's the thing about Monster Hunter. They don't hold your hand. I heard World is a little easier than the other ones.
Without anybody. Like, I have to build myself, and then I have to, you got to invest time. Like, some people that are playing it, like my nephew's buddy that plays it there too, a Marine. I mean, these guys have 200 hours played, dude.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts.
It's 10 days of sitting in a chair. That's a lot. 200 hours for a game like that. But, I mean, I've done it before. Don't get me wrong. But usually I dictate when I want to do it. Now it's more predicated upon playing with other people, which I like. Though. I played, like I said, I've played MMOs when I was younger, where I sat my ass in the chair for what felt like days. So it can be done. I know it can be
Counter-Strike. I used to play a lot of Counter-Strike.
I mean, stuff like that where my eyes were bleeding.
Well, that's awesome.
I know what you've been up to. Just enjoying the Pro.
I've been playing the Pro. So there's two things I'm playing right now. I'm obviously not steering away from PS3. That's what I'm collecting right now. So obviously I'm going to be playing titles on there for a lot of it. Because also the games are really expensive unless you get something older, obviously. But I have a lot of titles. Dan knows I have a lot of fucking titles for PS3 that I'm working through right now. So I'm almost done with the Modern Warfare 2 on PS3. And I'm also playing Wolfenstein 2 because I needed to play it. And I want to actually talk about it real fast. I will do an in-depth review later on in a future podcast because I'm not through it completely yet. I want to say that the storyline is great. And the Pro, to go directly into the Pro, it's almost like you have bad eyesight and you just put your glasses on. Like, everything is so clear. It looks great, honestly. You know what? I could actually take screenshots now and send it to our Facebook page, and so people could check out what I'm talking about. The one thing that I don't like about Wolfenstein 2 is it's taking place a lot of the times in like a dark scenario, like a dark subway, or at night, or you're in a huge warehouse. I don't want to give away the storyline too much, but it's very dark, so sometimes it's hard to see. Does that make any sense? There's not a lot of daytime levels, I want to say.
Well, it depends. You got to set up your...
I mean, I'm still in the...
As far as setting something like that up, it takes time. For me, at least. It took me time to build how I wanted the lighting to go, the same as I wanted my 4K to display itself in general.
Right, exactly. Because they do show you how to, set the settings. Maybe I have it set too dark. You know, so
it's not really. You want to listen to their baseline settings, but then you're going to adjust based on the game you're playing.
Right, exactly.
Like when I'm playing sports, I want it bright. I want to see the fucking crowd. I want to hear them chanting my name.
Exactly.
And then if I'm playing a sniper going through the World War II battlefields, maybe I want it a little darker. You know what I mean? Because it just all creates the mystique of the game. That's what's beautiful.
100%. So
finally, you're a big boy. Welcome to the club. I've been chilling for a year, so.
Right, exactly. So it's been great, and so that's where I'm at with that. And honestly, this is gonna sound crazy, but having 20 years, actually 20 plus years of Sony under the TV, I've came to the conclusion that I need to get some sort of Raspberry Pi or something. I can't have all this shit on display. As much as I love looking at it, it's just too much, man.
Yeah, what's your girl get here?
Oh, I'll show you after the podcast of how the entertainment center looks now. You're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" It's like it's like a different thing. Yeah, I actually changed my entertainment center, so I'll show you later. But anyway, so that's what I'm playing right now. That's what Dan's playing right now. And, we might be changing the format a little bit of the podcast. Nothing different. We're going to still talk about the same shit. But I think we might change up a little something. Maybe we'll wait till episode 30 before we start making any crazy changes. But that's it for this week's Assassin Cast. This is for the weeks 2.
So I know this guy's slacking on us, people.
October 28th and November 4th. And yes, it's not only me slacking. Thank you very much. It takes 2 to tango. We are slacking, but hey, we're here. We love the new fans. We're happy that you guys are joining us. And we do have stuff. I'm trying to get some more content out for you. Even if it's just me streaming, at least you get to see one of us. Dan's going to make an effort to post up on the Facebook. So, you get a little bit of both of us.
Oh, that's tough. But I can throw up stuff. If you guys ever, you let me learn and I'll show you guys me streaming. If you guys want to laugh, I'll put up videos.
Hey, I mean, it doesn't have to be a video. We'll try and get some sort of content. If there's something that catches our eye and is before the podcast, we'll post it up there so you guys can read it.
All right, man. I'll put up videos of me like playing my nephew on like Madden and just me wrecking him.
Yeah, hell yeah, why not?
Just so you guys can laugh and realize how horrible of a human being I am.
Hey, why not? I mean, we're definitely going to stream together shortly too, so
absolutely
we'll figure it out. And we're trying to get a better time to record so we can stay on track, on time. So that's it for this week's Assassin Cast. I'm Jeremy Malspina, accompanied by the wonderful co-host, the man of the hour, Mr. Daniel. I always get this confused, the mirror image. Mr. Daniel McCarthy. Take a bow. We're signing out.
You can't see it, but I am.
Yeah. Peace, bitches. Oh, and he'll have his webcam next weekend, so you'll get to see his wonderful mug.
That's why you guys are all queuing in.
That's right. I'm holding this on my shoulders. It's getting tough. We're getting tough. Like and subscribe. We're out.
Down there.
Peace. Yeah, that link down there, they don't do that anymore. All right. Later, guys. Peace.